I'm gonna run it through the garden. It's not like I would expect it at all. That's so interesting. It just melts right as you eat it.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Two Guys in a Cooler channel. Today, we are going to be making lardo. And lardo is really an Italian charcuterie where you cure back fat, you let it dry, and some of the world's best lardo comes from Colonnata, Italy, where they actually cure it in marble basins. Well, we don't have marble basins, and we're not in Italy, so I'm going to show you how to do it at home in your refrigerator. Now, the seasoning profile for your lardo can be just about whatever you want. Today we're going to be using rosemary, fennel, bay leaf, thyme, juniper berries, some garlic, salt, sugar, black pepper. You can really add whatever you want. If you want to get absolutely crazy and get a little spicy lardo thing going on, you could definitely do that here. The star of the show is pork back fat, and the thicker the better. This was about the thickest I can get my hands on, but you really want to get some big fat thick pieces. Trim off the skin and any excess meat underneath it, and let's get our seasonings. Now that our seasonings are mixed, let's go ahead and cure the back fat. Well, in Colonnata, Italy, where this is made, it's typically done in a marble basin, like we said earlier. And what happens is they put the layer of back fat, they then come back with salt, pepper, garlic, herbs. They put another layer of back fat, and then they repeat this until these marble basins are filled to the very top. At which point it's covered and it's allowed to cure. So we're going to try to synthesize that same process in our refrigerator. And now that my fat and seasonings have been layered all the way to the top, I'm going to go ahead and seal it up in my vacuum sealer. If you don't have a vacuum sealer, don't worry about it. You can put it in a Ziploc bag. It's totally fine. I just have a vacuum sealer, so I like to use it. We're now going to cover the entire thing in aluminum foil, and the reason we're doing that is to keep any light away from the back fat. Light has a tendency to make fat go rancid. It even changes the color a little bit, and what we're looking for is really beautiful snow white lardo after it's all said and done. I started this project in May of 2019, and we're going to leave it in our refrigerator for 6 months. As an FYI, I did place something heavy on the lardo during that entire 6 months period, and this is what it's going to look like 6 months later. So just to recap, all we've done was placed back fat with seasonings inside of a vacuum seal bag, covered it with foil, placed something heavy on that bag, and left it in our fridge for 6 months. I'm opening it for the very first time, and I can already feel that the fat is firmed up quite a bit. There is a little bit of water in the bag. That's to be expected. There's not a whole lot, but what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and gently rinse off the back fat as we prepare it for the final step before we can eat it. So I'm telling you, this thing is ridiculously easy. There's a couple different ways that you can approach this final step. Now, I happen to have a drying chamber where I have culatello and salami and all kinds of other crazy stuff in it. And so I'm going to hang my back fat that's been cured inside my drying chamber. If you don't have a drying chamber, that's totally okay, because all you have to do is put this on a rack in your refrigerator and allow it to dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a couple of pieces of string because I'm going to be hanging this. I'm going to weave it through with my butcher's needle and make a couple of knots. Nothing too fancy. If you're going to put this in your refrigerator, you're going to leave it in there for about 4 weeks, roughly. And what you're doing is you're just kind of really drying out that back fat. It's going to help firm it up a little bit more, and it's going to finish up the process. So once I've got my knots tied, just like that, like I said, nothing complicated, we're going to go ahead and just put this inside of our drying chamber. And but you know, easily you could keep this in your refrigerator on a rack so that you get air on the top and the bottom. The low humidity is not going to affect it because it's 100% fat. You don't have to worry about any of the negative effects that you would have if you were to do things like salami or whole muscle in your refrigerator. So once you have it hanging, go ahead, close the door. Be patient. We got 4 more weeks and we'll be able to taste that right here.
For the moment of truth, lardo, this is a very Italian charcuterie. And I must say, incredibly easy to make. You can do all kinds of things with lardo. You can whip it, you can make butter out of it. We're gonna eat it just like that today. We're gonna cut this right down the middle. And you and me are gonna taste lardo for the very first time in our lives. How do you want to do it? Do you just want to like eat a piece and see what happens?
Yeah. Let's try it that way.
There we go. Let's do it.
All right, let's give it a taste. First thoughts, I will be honest, by itself,
A little salty.
very salty,
A little salty. But it's not.
very creamy, but at the same time has an interesting mouthfeel to it.
So why don't we see how this pairs well with certain foods? Yeah?
Got an idea.
All right. So bring over the foods. Oh, yes.
Here we go.
Mango, copa, smoked salmon, black garlic, walnuts, and finocchione salami. Okay, so this is a very special salami. I don't want to go into it right now, but this is the end result of a particular video that we made where we pit our process up against one of the nation's largest retailers of, well, you know what? I'm not going to give it out. I'm not going to give up too much information, but the end result was shocking and incredible. So you're going to want to stick around for that video. But this is what that is. This is a finocchione salami. All right. So let's give it a shot.
Wrapping it around a walnut.
There we go. So can you see this at a little party? Ooh, look at that. It's kind of melting slightly in my hand.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. There we go.
There we go. Now you see that makes a little bit more sense.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. It sort of tames it out a lot. That was actually really good.
That actually was pretty tasty.
That was really good. Black garlic, an amazing ingredient, full of umami, a lot of flavor. We're going to go ahead and do a little black and white thing going on here. All right, here we go. Lardo and black garlic down the hatch.
Here we go.
Wow. That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
That is absolutely crazy.
Man, the flavors that's going on there.
It's almost as if the independent food is bringing something out of the lardo. All right, so your pick, a little lardo with some smoked salmon, might be the trick.
Alrighty.
Oh, doesn't that just look neat?
It just looks good on these items as well.
Okay,
Let's give it a taste. Wow.
Man,
that is really good.
It doesn't taste like you're eating fat. Like, you know, like when we ate it raw, to me it really tasted like you were eating a piece of fat.
Right.
But as you're mixing it with it, I'm not getting that at all. I've been dying to try it with some mango. Okay. Hey, salud.
There we go. That is an interesting combination.
What an interesting combination, because look, you've got savory,
right?
You've got nutty, smoky, very sweet.
Very, very sweet, yeah.
And so you've got a completely different flavor profile, but I wouldn't say that it takes away from it.
No, not in the slightest.
So what's the final verdict? Well, in our opinion, we thought the lardo was incredible. It's creamy, it's fatty, it's salty, it's herby. It adds a whole new dimension to whatever you're eating it with, and we definitely think it's worth a shot. We're also going to be making whipped lardo butter, so be sure to stick around for that video, which will be coming up soon. We want to thank the patrons of the channel. Thanks for your support, guys. And if you like what you see and you want to support our work, you can find that link in the description box below. If you have any questions on how to make lardo, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. I read every comment and answer every question. And if you're new to our channel, we want to say thank you. If you like what you see, consider subscribing. Click that notification bell, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to share. See you in the next one.